Taming the Demon by Omilovskiro. Chapter 37. To All-Star Spirits. The manager wanted him to clip out all the articles from Amafuto Monthly featuring Honjo Tagi at Teikoku so that Mata didn't see them. The monkey was more than likely to meet the renowned receiver on his own, but Hiruma performed the task anyway to increase dexterity in his left hand and to stop her nagging. Otherwise, his time was spent jerry-rigging his oxygen capsule onto a Segway. Of course, he's been wheeling around everything in this thing, manager. Why the surprise? And organizing the personal coaches from hell. Agaba was the best option to teach Tagi, but they were going to get out of hand so fast. But a deal was a deal, and they all signed the contract. He paired them up based on position, either offense or defense, and pitted his devil bats against opponents of equal or greater strength. Teikoku wasn't just going to play against Damon. The Teikoku Alexanders were going to battle with all the combined strength of the entire Kanto region. Unfortunately, the monkey's head was in space, and Ikkyu was not amused. Hiruma had foreseen this problem the moment Manta had returned from Osaka with a veritable storm cloud hanging over him. The brunette must have tried speaking to him because one day they both turned up covered in bruises and bandages, not talking to each other. Sena blamed his injuries on Cerberus, but the blonde got him bribing the mutt with food later. The more time went on, the worse it got, until Ikkyu had to be restrained from kicking the monkey's teeth in. Hiruma got a text from the monkey asking to be removed from the team, and was seriously considering doing him the honor of leaving his capsule to shoot his stupid head back on straight. Sena persuaded him not to, saying he had a plan to fix this. He always brought Honjo-san's glove to games as a way of asking for blessings from his god of catching. But now that God's child is his enemy, he can no longer use the talisman of Honjo-san's glove, so I'm going to give him a new talisman. The blonde raised an eyebrow and asked what Sena could give that could compare to God's talisman. Sena smiled a little deviously. I like to think of them as the devil's talismans. He pulled a box of football gloves out of his locker. Instead of the opponent he doesn't want to fight, how about all the ones he's already beaten? Sure enough, Hiruma recognized gloves belonging to receivers like Sakuraba and Tetsuma, and cornerbacks like Ikkyu and Kisaragi, and the set still wasn't complete. I still need to visit Kagurama-san from Taiyo, and I even contacted Watt-san from the American team. His glove is being sent in the mail. The quarterback laughed and said if this didn't snap the monkey out of it, nothing would. He didn't point out that his height advantage over the shrimp meant he could clearly see the hidden scraps of the gloves Hiruma gave him neatly placed on a little hand-sewn cushion on the back of the shelf. As expected, in a few days, Manta was apologizing for getting sidetracked and broke Hiruma's cell phone that received the text, "Death by machine gun." The only question was, where was it gone? The blonde confronted Unsui about his brother's blatant violation of the contract. What do you mean? How did I get him to sign it? And received the relatively surprising response that he had been practicing almost every day since Shinryuji's defeat at Damon's hands. Even though training was progressing smoothly, Sena was still obviously nervous. His anxiety about facing off against the genuine iShield 21 was so clear on his face it was practically written in permanent marker. Hiruma caught him alone at the train station one morning, a week before the match, to call him on it. Now, the blonde was not one to mince words, certainly not just to be nice. When prompted, he told Sena straight out that there was an absolute zero chance that the brunette would defeat Yamato Takeru. The kid didn't seem surprised. Until Hiruma also said that every plan he made, every scheme he plotted, would center around Sena beating Yamato man to man. He walked away to let that sink in. The day before the game, it snowed. The idea of a white Christmas bowl seemed to motivate everybody just that little bit extra, and not just the players either. A group of Teikoku lackeys had created a giant snowman in the shape of their Alexander mascot at the front gate of the Tokyo Dome. And though Hiruma would never tell anyone, he caught Habashira on a few of his cameras as the linebacker coddled up a bunch of his buddies and crafted a white devil bat in defiance. It certainly set the mood for the Battle of the East and the West. Upon entrance to the arena, the two opponents greeted each other. Hiruma casually glanced over Teikoku's starting lineup and picked out a player he knew to be at least 60% idiot and promptly put on a show involving a fictitiously bedridden younger sister that he promised to win the Christmas Bowl for, regardless of the state of his wounded arm. The stares of his fellow devil bats all read, "Who the heck is this character?" The minor plot failed, however, as expected, because just about everybody else on Teikoku could use their brains and called him on his crap. And yet, in a way, the plot did succeed, because Yamato was more idiot than he let on and volunteered to play the entire game with his right arm sealed to match Hiruma's. Well, whatever helps you sleep at night. It was time for Teikoku's kickoff and Damon's very first trick play of the match. Everyone thought Damon was going to immediately demonstrate the strength of Kanto. So, of course, they ran away. Let the game begin. Yaha!